Hi everyone and welcome to our channel. My name is Julia and in today's video I'm going to share with you a few tips and tricks that will help you understand English speakers when they're speaking very fast. When a person becomes comfortable with a language, they tend to speak very fast, which makes it difficult to understand or follow the conversation. But don't worry, that's why I'm here. If you follow these tips and tricks, you'll be able to understand English speakers and follow the conversation, and hopefully you'll be able to respond as well. Please like and subscribe our channel, and remember to leave a comment below if you have any questions or suggestions, and we'll get back to you. Okay, let's get started. Tip number 1. Listen for stressed words. A speaker places stress on a word by raising their tone of voice or by making a word sound longer. By listening for stressed words, you will hear the vital information that will give you the context of what the speaker is trying to say. For example, he had nothing to do with the accident. If he didn't have anything to do with the accident, where does he fit in? Listen closely and you might hear more information like, he had nothing to do with the accident, but Paul did. Another example will be, he had nothing to do with the accident. So if he had nothing to do with it, where does he fit in? Listen and you'll hear more information, like, he had nothing to do with the accident, he wasn't there. One more example, he had nothing to do with the accident. Once again, where does he fit in? Listen and you'll hear more information, and the sentence might say, he had nothing to do with the accident, but he knew about it when it happened. Listening for stressed words is very important to help you understand what is the important part of the sentence that the speaker wants you to focus on. You can practice this by listening to news on the TV or the radio, because in news they tend to exaggerate the stressed words. Tip number 2. Become familiar with English slang. Slang refers to both words and phrases. It's used as an informal or cruder way of saying something. It's important to note that there's no logical connection between the formal word and its slang version. That's why you'll have to learn slang word for word. For example, I'm really chuffed with my new car. Simply means, I'm pleased with my new car. You can say, can you lend me some dosh? Which means, can you lend me some money? Or you can say, I'm going to go and flog some clothes, which means I'm going to go sell some clothes. Another one, did you nick that money? Which means, did you steal that money? There's an endless list of slang. So for a good base, take a look at the video on slang we have on this channel and you'll be able to learn some basic slang words. Tip number 3. Colloquialisms. What a big word. Colloquialisms refer to words, word formations and phrases that are used in informal conversations and used instinctively by native English speakers. But unlike slang, colloquialisms also appear in writing. You'll almost always hear that a word or letter is left out deliberately to make a contraction. For example, I am hungry becomes I'm hungry. You are coming tonight can change to you're coming tonight. It is raining can be it's raining. Contractions do become more difficult when a speaker wants to say something quickly. So, we could have gone to the beach becomes we could have gone to the beach. Could have and could have bears no audible resemblance to each other. And in certain regions you might even hear we could have gone to the beach. You can also say I might have laughed, which will be I might have laughed. Once again, might have and might have doesn't sound the same. It is important to learn which words and phrases are typically combined to make two words into one. Think of a person or a thing that will be combined with am, are, and is, or certain verbs like might, would, could, should, that become might've, should've, would've, and could've. Practicing writing out contractions and then reading them out loud will help you to learn what they sound like so you'll be able to recognize them in conversations. Try to read blogs or interviews or listen to song lyrics so you'll be able to see how they're used. Number 4, intonation. Basically, intonation refers to the sound quality of a speaker's voice. There are 3 forms of intonation, of which we will be doing 2. Firstly, let's consider the tone of level. Level intonation is used in routine situations. For example, reading a shopping list, reading a recipe, or describing your daily routine. I woke up, I took a shower, I went to the mall, I came back. This intonation gives no emotion or attitude, which means you need to listen to the words the speaker uses rather than trying to find meaning in their delivery. However, when using the second form of intonation, the moving tone, a lot more can be achieved. The moving tone has 2 parts, the rising upwards tone or the falling downwards tone. The upwards tone is typically used in a question where you say, "Did you tell her? Do you want an apple?" Here you can hear that the sentence ends with a word that is said in an upwards tone. In contrast, the falling tone is used as a form of finalization or giving a statement, where you can say, "I don't want to go there. I'm going to stay home." To practice the difference between the two, you can take a sentence and firstly say it as a question and then as a statement. For example, "You want a beer?" is a question in the upwards tone. But if you say, "You want a beer?" that sounds a bit odd. When using the falling tone, a sentence usually contains one stressed word. For example, "You want a beer." When rising and falling tones are combined, a conversation gets its rhythm. Let's look at a simple nursery rhyme as an example. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Take a look at news and listen to how news readers read the news and end the topic with a downward tone to show that that topic is finished, and how they use an upwards tone to indicate a new topic. It is very important to use intonation in a conversation. If someone only speaks monotonous like this, you will get extremely bored and most probably stop listening after a while. That's why intonation is important to keep your listener engaged and interested in what you're saying. Tip number 5. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. There are a set of verbs in the English language called modal verbs. Don't worry about remembering the name, but it is important to know the function, because modal verbs will help you to understand the conversation and what is expected of you or someone else. Modal verbs are used to convey different kinds of messages, like ability, you can ride your bike, or permission, you may ride your bike, or possibility, you might ride your bike. Furthermore, modal verbs can be used to convey obligation, you must do your homework, or necessity, you should drink more water. And lastly, it can be used to predict something. We will attend the event tonight, or we shall go to the beach tomorrow. It is very important to make sure you use the correct modal verb in your conversation, depending on the context of what you're saying. Imagine a stranger asks you for directions and you say, "You might turn right at the traffic light." They will probably get lost because that's not a definite instruction. You'd rather say, "You should turn right at the traffic light." That's a definite instruction, and then they know what is expected of them to do. Think a co-worker tells you, "You will have a nice weekend." That is a pleasant well-wishing, and that's what we want to hear. What if they said, "You must have a nice weekend"? That's a bit demanding and less pleasant. Listen to conversations where English speakers are talking to each other and listen to when they are using which modal verb. That way you will learn when to use the correct form of the verb, and you won't make mistakes that could be confusing to whoever you're speaking to. Tip number 6, inserts and discourse markers. Hey, wow, okay, oh. In a conversation, typically a casual conversation, you will hear words that are inserted quite randomly, and they might seem a bit useless, but if you look closely, you'll see that they are very important to convey the meaning of what the speaker is saying. Here we're looking at words like wow, oh, aw. They are used to convey emotion. Otherwise, we have words like yeah, okay, no, ugh. They are used to show agreement or disagreement. Let's look at a few possible responses to simple sentences. Remember to listen for the stressed words. Responses to "that really upset me" could be "oh, I didn't realize," which is pacifying, or "ah, I thought that might have been rude," which is apologetic, or "wow, I didn't think of that," which is surprised. These words won't always be stressed in a fast conversation, but if you hear them, they will give you more information about a speaker's attitude. Similarly, other words will give you more information about a speaker's response to what's been said. Here we look at words like dunno, right, okay, well. In fact, for such a short and simple word, okay does an awful lot of work. It can be used to change the topic of conversation. For example, "Okay, we're done with this. What's next?" Or we can say, "Okay, what do you think?" which shows you that it's another person's turn to speak. Take a look at the TV and listen to the conversations you hear, and watch out for these kind of words. They will give you more information about a speaker's attitude, or they can show you a change of topic or a change of speaker. Try and practice these at home. And that's the end of our video. Go and practice these 6 tips. Make sure to implement them in your daily life, especially while watching TV, listening to radio, or having conversations with English speakers. If you keep on practicing, you'll get the hang of it in no time. Thank you for watching our video. Once again, remember to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and leave us a comment below if you have any questions or suggestions. My name is Julia. I hope you learned something today, and I'll see you again soon.